Hello guys, well it's time to get the top end disassembled on this 1996 CB Honda 750 F2. So let's start with getting the rocker cover off and work our way through. Okay, first thing to get off is the rocker cover. So once I get this rocker cover off, I'll get it all polished up nicely. Which makes these motors look really nice. She's a little bit, got a little bit of corrosion here and there. Okay, that's the rocker cover ready to come off. Okay, there's a valve assembly there. Now, one thing I did do before actually taking the top down was make sure this motor was on top dead center, which is looking at here. That's lining the little T mark up on the rotor here, and on this side, looking here, there's two marks on the actual cam sprockets. There's one there and there's one there that you should line up as well. Just put a bit of light on there so you can see it. But can you see that exhaust and inlet, these marks here and here, they need to be lined up as well. So I like to do that before stripping any motor. Okay, the next thing we have to do is to remove the cam chain cover, the pipes here, and the 4 defoaming covers. And what's that? That's a stupid boy. Okay, here we go. I had it around the wrong way. These are all quite tight, which I guess you want one pretty tight. One thing's coming loose in here. Okay, first of the oil pipes come off. To the left hand side. Okay, that's the oil pipes and the covers off. Next thing to remove are the 4 defoaming chamber covers. These. So. Okay, just give these a little persuasion with a screwdriver. A little bit of rubber holding them on there. But yeah, that's a little chamber of defoaming. Not quite sure what that is about, but we'll leave them loose for now. The next thing we're going to do is press this pin down here to loosen the chain. So that's interesting. So we push this pin down and we pull the plate up to lock it in the slack position. So we'll just get something around to press that down. Okay. So push it down. I'm pushing very lightly on that, and I'm actually able to get that up. And then push this down, it says. Oh yeah. It's slack now. That's the chain slack now. So there's 4 sprocket bolts on here that we have to remove. There we go. They are quite tight. No, we don't want this dropping down into the motor, so we've got to be careful here. Okay, here we go. Bolt one out. And the same on the back. And here's the second one. Okay, so now they say rotate at 360 to get at the other 2 bolts. About there should do it. And there's the third one. Okay, that's the 4 bolts out of the cam sprockets. Okay, I've got the cam chain nice and slack now. I actually pushed this pin here down with the hammer handle and then pulled the bracket up to lock it in place. Now these are nice and thin, they can come off the flanges like so. Next thing is to loosen these other bolts on here to remove these camshaft covers. These Honda CB750 F2s, this is a 96 one, I know 98's the same, I'm not sure how many years that went for, but these models have hydraulic tappets, whereas the earlier ones, they have shims on their valves. These ones don't. Okay, dowels there, careful there. It's one cover off. Yeah, so we're leaving these off when I put the engine back. Do them while the engine's in the bike. And there's the right hand exhaust. O-ring on there. Okay, we have these dowels here. Now this can now come out. There's the exhaust can out. And now for the inlet cam. Chain's not going to go anywhere, it's okay. And sprocket. Inlet cam. Yeah, first time I had this motor apart, one of these, but nice little tappets here, very small valves, and we've got the hydraulic tappets there. Hydraulic tappets are in here. There's our little valve springs. Very nice. Okay, we've got our camshafts out, and now we need to get the head off. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the cam chain holder, which is 4 bolts. Again, we're going to crisscross pattern, and we've got to be careful not to drop any bolts way down into the bottom of the crankcase. That would be your worst nightmare come true. So let's be careful here. And number 4. Okay. And this can come up out like this. And the next thing we have to move is take this little pin out, and this little, I think they call it a holder. Okay, here's the pin there, or the clip. Clip comes out, and then the pin comes out, and there's the pin, and then this can then come out. So there's actually 2 clips. There's another one here. Clip and pin there on the guide chain. And that just fell down on the floor. So I'll have to hunt for that now. And there we have our cam chain guide. Not too bad actually. And holder like a spring. Very nice. Just went down on the floor and found the little clips. So I've got my 2 clips and my 2 pins and the 4 bolts for the holder. Okay, on the back of the motor we have some oil pipes to get off. So they'll be coming off next. Nice long pipe there with a couple of washers there. Washer just fell down there. And there we go. So one washer there to retrieve, and we've got 2 on here. Okay, the next thing to remove are these cylinder head mounting bolts. There's 2 at the back and 2 at the front. So let's get them off. Okay, and 2 at the front. And we've got 2 bolts here as well. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Here's the other one. Well, this one's taking the dowel with it. It's tied in there. Okay, we're now ready to loosen the head bolts off. We'll do them in a crisscross pattern. Got a rag down there to stop anything dropping into the crankcase. But just do a little bit of turn at a time. Okay. And copper washers in there too. So now this head is pretty ready to come off now. There's really not many places to tap on these motors. The fins are very fragile, you don't want to be hitting on there. I'm just tapping on the edge of the carburetor mount here, and that's separating it. Don't bang on the fins, keep your manifold in there and tap on it. Yeah, she's got it now. Alrighty. So all I've been doing is tapping on this lug here of the carburetor manifold. Don't tap on anything like this. Or put screwdrivers in between there, you'll snap fins. But going on here, that's pretty solid. That is coming up slowly. A bit more on the other side. Let's give it a wriggle. There she comes. And there we have our head. So, head's off. You can examine that. Head gasket's off. It's a decent looking head gasket, that too. There we go. Here comes the head gasket. See one of them required? Now we've got 1 and 4 on top dead centre. And we don't want any crap going in the bottom end because I'm not overhauling that and I don't want any crap going in there. Okay, we've got 2 more nuts on the back of the cylinder. The 2 front ones have already been taken off. Just these 2 back ones to go. And the cylinders can come off. There you go, right back in the fence. Okay. I need to be careful with that. I could pop into the... There he is. Alright, that's it. The cylinder should come off. A bit of persuasion. Okay, now I'm ready to get the cylinders off. Now these cylinders, these fins are really quite delicate, and you don't want to be banging on anywhere like this to lift this cylinder up. And the cylinder is really glued to the crankcase, you know, with the gasket. It's been on there for years, and it's hard to come off. So I don't want to really knock on anything like this, you know. So what I've done is I've made up this puller sitting on the top of the cylinder bolts, and I'm just jacking off here to give me a bit of pressure to start up with. And again, you've got to be careful on these castings, you know. You don't want to break them, you know. That'd go down like a lead balloon. But I've just put a bit of tension on these. And I sort of, the only place you can really sort of knock is on the corners, which I hate doing. But these corners here, you can get in there and just separate it a bit to start getting it up. She's starting to go now, starting to break away from the gasket. But I've just gone by the corner ones. Some of them, like this one here, is and here, these are actually all galleries, so you don't want to go in between there at all. But she's starting to go now. Okay, she's getting close now. Getting a little bit of a gap there. And it's got to come off these dowels. Here we've got a dowel there, as well as the stuck-on gasket. Let's see if we can lift it. No, still not ready to go. Now once I get this up, I want to make sure no dirt is going into that crankcase. I want to be very careful of these areas here. We're just starting to poke out now. So I'll take my puller off now, I think. So yeah, I was kind of pushing down on there to extract this head off, you know. Yeah, these cylinders off. But yeah, they're quite delicate. So just be careful pulling them off. Okay, here we go. cam chain through, and off come the cylinders. And there we go, there's our cylinders off. Now I'm just going to pull a couple of these outer pistons off and just take the circlip off and just knock that gudgeon pin out, which slides out quite nicely. There's piston number one. Piston number one out. And number four comes out. There's only four pistons out. Clean them up. Now, very carefully cleaned around these bolts to get any dirt, make sure no dirt was getting in this crankcase. So I've got them all pretty well sealed off now. I can probably use a little bit of air blown in the right direction to just get them out of any little channels there might be any bits of rust. Just blow it away from. Well, that's the top end of the CB750 F2 removed, and I've cleaned up all the gasket surface, and we'll get a new cam chain into the bottom end. The bottom end all looks very good. This is a nice bottom end. So all I've got to do is check the bores and the valves and get all the top end reconditioned and get it all back on again. Okay, I've top ends stripped. I've been through and just cleaned up the gasket surfaces on the crankcase and on the top and bottom of the cylinders. Also cleaned out the ridge, bit of a carbon ridge on the top of the cylinders. And yeah, just going through and checking the tolerances. And on the cylinders, the diameter of the cylinders is 67 mil with a service limit of 0.1 of a mil. 0.1 would be about 4 thou. And checking the bores, measuring them. These are virtually smack on, these bores. I'm really happy with them. The bores do actually have slight home marks on them, and yeah, that was just on 60. Yeah, 67 mil. So I had 67.01 on cylinder 1. 67 on cylinder 2, 67 on cylinder 3, and 67 on cylinder 4. And put the rings in, clean the piston up, and put the rings in and checking the end gap on the rings, and they have a tolerance of 0.5 of a mil gap, and I've got a 0.4 mil here, and I can't get that into the gap. So really the rings are actually in tolerance, but I'm not going to replace these rings which have been used. Well, the bike has got 79,000 Ks on it, which is surprising, but I will order a new set of rings, gaskets and O-rings, and rebuild the top end. Yeah. But in the meanwhile, I'll order the parts. It's going to take me about a month probably. So I'll probably get into the frame and start painting that up and changing a few bearings. Thanks, guys.